I know people don't like me making these videos sometimes, but I feel the need to as I don't see anyone else doing it. Necrit, as some people might know, is a sellout. He has sold his soul to Riot. He's given up independent journalism, and he's just covering things that they probably would like him to cover. Of course, he does cover some topics, but they're not sensitive topics, right? And I can say this with certainty because he's been invited to the Riot headquarters or whatever, and he's been there. He was invited to the event, all of these other things. So he's clearly on the inside of Riot, right? And he's promoting things that aren't necessarily true to support the idea of what Riot is saying. Other times, again, he can be critical, but it's things that are like, okay, like Riot makes a $500 skin, they know everyone's gonna hate on it, so like he's allowed to do that. But he would never like say something bad about Riot. And not too long ago, he made a post about Vanguard. And in this, he supports the fake narrative that Riot has put out. Again, I think this is bad. Like, I tried to call out the guy that made this entire dev post. And this guy in the dev post, he was talking shit to people on Twitter. Like, lol, you have no idea what you're doing. And I added him. I'm like, yo, dude, why are you posting fake graphs? Like, why are you lying? But he wouldn't respond. So he clearly knows, right? So, like, Necrit, I'm just disappointed, man. Like, I would have wanted this guy to be critical. Like, as an independent journalist for Riot or whatever, like League of Legends, right? Like, he covers news on League of Legends. So the fact that he sells everything here as, like, a good thing, it's not, man. And just so I can get myself clear here on Vanguard, like, I don't think Vanguard is bad. I know that Vanguard has banned cheers. That's not what I'm saying. But I don't like when things get posted that aren't true, because that just makes things weird. Right? Like, if Vanguard is successful, then why do you need to make up lies? That's when it becomes suspicious. Because if something is already good, like, why are you needing to cover, like, fake things, right? And we'll get to that right now. So the fact that, like, he's in cahoots with Riot, in a sense here, covering this, not being critical and calling this out, is actually kind of disgusting to me. Because he's obviously, like, in partnership with Riot. He's sucking that CCP dick, yeah? And I dislike him for this. Like, before I'd watched some of his content, but after this here, I don't like him anymore. Right? And it's about these win rates, right? Like, Cogmore, Twitch, these big graphs here are before Riot, like, released Vanguard, and then after is when Vanguard got released. But something that has to be understood here is that while these win rates are accurate, all of these champions and their items got nerfed. So of course their win rates are going to drop, but it's not a correlation to Vanguard, it's just because patches are coming out, right? So like, it's like me saying like, I don't know, like just extreme example, right? Like, global warming doesn't exist, usually, or like something, right? And you go in the winter and you're like, look, it's cold. Like people are like, it's 30 degrees, look, it's so warm, like global warming, blah, blah. And then that's during the summer, and I go during the winter and I'll take this, like it's not the same. Like, sure, it's of course it's going to be colder during the winter than it's going to be during the summer. Like, bro. But here comes the worst part. If you look at Astral, right? His win rate is like, if you look really closely, post-Vanguard, his win rate is lower on this graph. But in reality, it's higher. Do you know why they're doing this? Because they couldn't have a champion have a high win rate after Vanguard got released. Because then it would seem bad. So they artificially altered Astral's win rate to appear slightly lower than before. And that especially is disgusting to me. Like, all of these other ones might be correct. But it makes sense too, because again, because of patches and stuff. But these differences here are not because of, like, Vanguard. It's because the champions got nerfed and the items got changed. But again, Astral's win rate should be slightly higher. And I think Seria as well, I think, is actually higher. But they put them down. So like they artificially altered this graph to make it appear as if every single ADC got a drop in win rate. And something I want people to know too is that even though Seria is like the infamous scripting champion, one of the most effective like champions to script on is actually Astral. Right? You watch those Chinese like montages, whatever, like people like doing crazy shit on Astral. Like if you can script on that champion, it is arguably one of the most broken champions in the entire game. It's like people think Kog'Maw, Twitch, etc. But like in reality, like the biggest scripting champion that would be the most effective would probably be Astra. Or maybe Seri, right? So again, I really dislike Necrit for this. Yeah, it's disgusting that he's like sucking Riot's dick so hard that he's like actually like going along with this graph here, even though it's not real. So like the fact that he can't be critical of that just because he's in cahoots with them is disgusting. And he's lost so much credibility and everything else. And I don't like it at all. And I just wanted to call him out because he's sucking a dick, like clearly, based on this here. Like, of course, he doesn't do anything else, and everything else is like neutral. It's like every other drama, like with same as the Beast, right? And then you have like some people like covering it, saying it's bad, but then everyone else is quiet. Like that's basically Necrit here. He's just talking about things that like are socially acceptable by Riot to talk about, and everything else it doesn't really mention. It's like even though how critical you might think he is about things, you have to know that this guy is not. Okay. He's the poster. And that to me is disgusting. And again, I would have loved to Riot to respond to this because I know for a fact that this graph is fake. But why? It's just weird. Like Vanguard obviously banned cheers. Why do you need to make this graph? Just like why? I don't understand why. It's weird to me. Just weird. Like, you don't have to do this. You can post a real one, but it would look bad. But, like, don't include it then if you don't want to. But it's you don't have to include it, man. But don't fucking fake a graph just to, like, try and make a point, because it's not helping you. I wish more people commented on this and, like, made it aware, because, like, I don't know, man. This is just weird to me. Like, why would you do this? But at the end of the day, this smug fucker, man. Lost respect. That is all. I just want you guys to know out that Necrit has sold out to Riot. He's in cahoots with the Chinese Communist Party, and he should no longer be trusted. That is all. Have a good evening. That's from like that, and take care. Peace.